Hi everyone. Today I just want to quickly go over the different types of names that we give to drugs. Nomenclature is one of the most important properties of a drug, and it can tell a lot about the drug as well. Now there are five main ways that we can name a drug, and I'd like to go through all of them today. Firstly, we have what we call the generic name. Now, this generic name is essentially the legal, non-commercial name for the drug. So, if you've ever seen a box of drugs, this might be the name that they usually have in brackets next to what we call the trade name, which I'll go through later. So it's the non-commercial name. Now, this generic name can actually give us hints about the structure of the drug. And in this case, I mean the chemical structure. But this is not always the case. So if we take the example of diazepam, for example, we can know from this generic name that this drug can be able to manage short-term anxiety disorders. So this is the generic name. Next, we have what we call the chemical name. The chemical name is most important for scientists and pharmacists who may be analyzing the particular drug. This is the name of the drug and specifically denotes this chemical structure. Now, unlike the generic name, not only does it give hints, but it actually shows us how the molecule of the particular drug will be organized. So if we take the example of diazepam once again, the chemical name for this drug is chloro 1,3-dihydro 1-methyl 5-phenyl 2H 1,4-benzodiazepine 2-one. So as you can see, this name actually continues across the line and is quite long because it actually shows us the chemical structure according to IUPAC regulations of how this drug would actually look like. So it tells us a lot, but it's not very helpful for any consumer because if you go to a pharmacy, you don't ask for chloro 1,3-dihydro 1-methyl 5-phenyl 2H 1,4-benzodiazepine 2-one. You ask for diazepam or Valium or Geucine. So that's why the next category of naming that I'll go through is the trade name. Now this is what the name that most people will know about because it's the name that the pharmacological company that sells the drug under. So it's the name given to the drug by the organization that sells it. And it may be given to allow for the drug to be remembered more easily. And if we once again take the example of diazepam, diazepam can be sold under various names such as Valium, Geucine, and Antonex. And these are just some of the examples that exist around the world. Obviously, different countries and different pharmacological companies will have their own trade names. The next name or next type of nomenclature that I'd like to go through is the therapeutic class. The therapeutic class is also a very important type of categorization because it's the classification of the drugs that have the same mechanism of actions. This means that the drugs in the same class, produce their effects in the same way. Now, you have to know that there's a subtle difference between mechanism of action and the actual action. Say, for example, salbutamol, which is a drug that allows for bronchodilation, the actual action of the drug will be that it dilates the various airways. However, the mechanism of action will be that the way in which it interacts with beta receptors. So, drugs in the same therapeutic class will have the same method of action, which is another way of phrasing it. The therapeutic class for diazepam, is benzodiazepine. This means that all drugs that are under this benzodiazepine title will have the same method of action. The last classification category that I would like to go through is the ATC classification. This is a classification that's given by the World Health Organization, and it's essentially the classification of the drug by the body system that it acts upon. So, for example, this can be categorized based on the therapeutic, pharmacological, and chemical effects. Diazepam, if we take this as an example once again, acts upon the nervous system, specifically the brain. So, the ATC classification will be that the body system that it acts upon is the brain. So in conclusion, these are the 5 different types of nomenclature that exist for drugs. They are the generic name, which is the legal non-commercial name, the chemical name, which denotes the entire structure of the particular drug, the trade name, which is the name by which the drug is sold by the particular pharmaceutical company, the therapeutic class, which is the classification of the drugs based on the mechanism of action in which they produce their effects in the same way, and the ATC classification tells us which body system the particular drug has an effect on. This includes the therapeutic, pharmacological, and chemical effects. The actions of benzodiazepine, specifically under the generic name diazepam, are given in clouds. Thanks for watching.